All right, guys. Firestarter 18 is going over the going over the problems from Firestarter 17. So if you didn't do Firestarter 17, well, you're gonna have the answers for that right now. So the segment addition postulate, that's like 5 and 7, says basically we have a red piece and this green piece, and together they give me the whole blue piece. Right? And that's how that works. So basically the two pieces add up to the whole. I think that makes sense to you guys. So I'm gonna have x plus 11. Then I'm going to add it to the green piece, plus x plus 14. If you're struggling, I recommend putting the biggest piece on the equal by itself on the equal sign first. So if you're struggling, what I would have done is I would have taken this 17 right here, and I would have put it equal to that first. I would have done that first, and I'll do the next one because it's a little bit more complicated than the next one. Now I'm just going to combine my like terms. X and x is 2x. 11 and 14 is 25, and now it's just a simple solve problem. 2x plus 25 equals 17. You minus 25 from both sides. Now you're going to end up with 2x equals negative 8. Divide both sides by 2, because that's how I get rid of multiplication. So I ended up with x equals negative 4. Right? Now you can always double check your work too. So if I put negative 4 in right there, and right there, right? The red piece would turn into positive 7. The green piece would turn into positive 10. Well, 7 plus 10 does equal 17, so it works, right? In the future, I have a feeling that sometimes they would say, like, find, instead of solve for x, it might say something like find CB or BC, right? And then you would say CB equals 10, all right? You wouldn't need the segment up there because you're given a number answer, but you could put the segment bar over there. All right. So that's number 5. 7 is gonna be the exact same concept. All right, number 7, exact same concept. I'm gonna change the colors a little bit, just so you don't get confused with 5 and 7. So 7 is gonna be the orange piece plus the purple piece is gonna give you the blue piece. If you are struggling, I'm telling you, like if you're not sure where to put what on the equal sign, take the biggest piece. So that's the big piece. The big piece is almost always going to go by itself on the equal sign. Now the two little pieces are going to go on the other side. Now we just have a simple solve problem. I'm going to combine my like terms on the left side. So I have 2x plus 31 equals x plus 20. Now I'm going to move my x's to the same side. So minus x minus x. I get x plus 31 equals 20. Now I'm going to subtract 31 from both sides. So I end up with x equals negative 11. So I subtracted 31 from both sides. I end up with x equals negative 11. So I'm going to put negative 11 in right there. I'm going to see what it gives me. Negative 11 plus 20. So negative 11 plus 20, the blue piece should turn into 9. All right. 2x plus 24. So 2 times negative 11. If I put negative 11 right there, is negative 22 plus 24. So the blue piece should be 2. Well, 7 plus 2 does equal 9. So guys, in the future, it'll probably be something like this, where you'll have to tell me that GF equals 7. See, I'm using the segment notation. FE equals 2. And the whole thing, GE, equals 9. Now, I don't need to put that bar on top because I'm actually talking about length, so there's no way it can be a line or any confusion. But if you want to put the bar on there, I'll accept that grudgingly. All right, that's it for 5 and 7. All right, 21 and 23 are very similar. They are like the angle addition postulate. So basically it says if you have two little angles, they add up to the big angle. So once again, what I tell everybody is find the big angle first. So you want to find the big angle first, right? So the big angle is UVW or WVU. So step 1, I want to find the big angle, right? So that's the big angle. So step 1, right? Big angle. The big angle is UA angle UVW or WVU. So I look through my problem. I look for UVW. It says find UVW if UVW is 19x minus 15. So right here. So this line right here is going to give me all the information I need. Remember, I find the big angle. I put that on by itself on the other side. So now I'm going to do an orange angle. So look, this guy right here, that orange part is UVC. So UVC is 54. So I put 54 on the left side. Now I got to find this purple part is CVW or WVC. It is 7x plus 4. So basically, guys, they're going to give you 3 pieces of information. They're going to give you 2 smaller pieces and 1 big piece. The big piece is on its side, is on its own side of the equation. The 2 little pieces are on the same side of the equation. And then it's just going to turn into an algebra problem. That's all we should be end up with every time. So I end up with 7x, that's a terrible 7. 7x plus 58 equals 19x minus 2. So I just combine like terms first, just like we've always done. You do parentheses first if they are there, then you do like terms. Get all your x's on one side. It doesn't matter to me which side you move it to. So if you want the x on the left, you subtract 19x from both sides. I end up with 12x plus negative 12x plus 58 equals negative 2. Now I'm going to subtract 58 from both sides. I end up with negative 12x equals minus 60. Now I divide both sides by negative 12. And I end up with x equals positive 5. All right. Now, I'm not done yet. It says indicate the measure of all the angles. So I have to find all my angle measurements. So I already know I'm going to put 5 in wherever I see an x. So I'm going to put 5 in there. I'm going to put 5 in there. So I'm going to start with the blue piece. So I'm going to say the measure of angle UVW. So I have to use the little m because I'm going to put a number answer here. And in my calculator, I'm going to do 19 times 5 minus 2. So I'm going to do 19 times 5 minus 2. I end up with 93. So I should have 93 degrees. And I got to have the degree symbol. Now I'm going to do the orange piece. The orange piece is the measure of angle UVC, which is 54 degrees. Really easy to do. Not really thinking about that one. Now I'm going to do the purple piece. So the measure of angle CVW, I'm going to do 7 times 5, which is 35, plus 4, which is 39. So I end up with 39 degrees. Does 39 and 54 add up to be 93? It does, so it works out. All right? That's how you answer this problem. That's the slight difference between Basics of Geometry 1 worksheet to Basics of Geometry 2 worksheet. We know a little bit more, so we have to do a little bit more work. All right? That's it for 21. All right, next one I'm going to do the exact same way. I'm doing everything the exact same way. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find the big piece. The biggest piece is UVW. So I'm going to look around for UVW. I find UVW right there. So step 1 is I'm going to find the big angle. I'm going to put 134 all on its own. Right? Now I have this green piece, right? UVL. So I'm going to look, or LVU. I'm going to look for UVL or LVU. I find UVL, that's 43x plus 2. Now I'm going to find this red chunk right here. So this red chunk is going to be LVW, which is right here, 22x plus 2. So now I have an equation. So I have 43x and 22x. That is 65x for like terms, and 2 and 2 is 4. Make sure you do the like terms first. Now I'm going to solve them minus 4 from both sides. I end up with 65x equals 130. Divide both sides by 65. I end up with x equals 2. Right? So look, I have to plug in 2 in both of those x's to figure out the measure of all the angles. So the question already specifically wants LVW, and I told you above I want all of them. All right? So LVW is the red piece. So to find the measure of angle LVW, see how I wrote it with the little m, then the angle symbol, then the capital LVW. 22 times 2 is 44. 44 plus 2 is 46. So I have 46 degrees. Now I'm going to find the green piece next. So that's the measurement of angle UVL. So I'll do 43 times 2, which is 86. 86 plus 2 is 88. So I should have 88 degrees. Now I know that the blue piece already is UVW. And this is just kind of how I check my work. So does 46 and 88 give me 134? It does. And that's what it was supposed to give me. See how that's, and that's it. All right, today's keyword is not a word, it's a phrase. It is attendance at home must be done on time. Attendance at home must be done on time. Today's keyword, attendance at home must be done on time. All right, so 32 and 33, I am going to do, it's all about notation, right? So I'm going to be able to look at this figure and get to be able to write some stuff down. So I always start with these marks right here mean congruent segments. So remember, congruency means it's kind of like equal, but they are not the exact same because they're in different spots. They're like I mentioned, my identical triplets. So I'm going to put FH, and I have to put the bar on top because I'm talking about a segment, is congruent to EG, bar on top. All right. Now I'm going to look for what other things I see in here. I see this, right? Those tell me that those mean parallel lines. So I'm going to say F, and it means these two lines, right? So I'm going to say F, E, but look, now this time I have to put a line on top because I'm talking about the whole line. And I'm going to use this parallel symbol, HG. Right? Now that means the same thing, but now it's talking about these lines, right? So now I say F, H, line on top, tells me I'm talking about the whole entire line, is parallel to E, G, line on top, right? And that's all, those are all the marks given, right? Any marks on there that are given, we need to explain. And that's it, there's only 3 of them. All right, 33. I see that. Those marks right there mean congruent angles. So for the red writing, I have to say angle, remember UTS. I have to put T in the middle, or I'm not talking about that angle. And I'm going to say angle symbol, PQS. So this is super important that you have the correct angle. You have the Q in the middle. You could say SQP, that's fine. You could say TQP. In this problem, you could probably get it with saying just angle T and angle Q, even though I think it's a bad habit. Right? So then I got this. So those are segments. So I get to say TS is congruent to QS. Right? So T to S is congruent to Q to S. And remember, those are segments, so I have a bar on top with no arrows or anything. The last thing I see is I see this right here. That's going to tell me, and there's a bunch of different ways to do it. There's 2 ways to write this. I could say the measurement of angle TSR equals 90 degrees. Or I could say QT is perpendicular to SR. So that's another way to do it. Both those are acceptable. So that's the perpendicular symbol. This is the perpendicular symbol. It's kind of like the parallel line symbol. And perpendicular means that both these would be 90. So you could even say QSR equals 90 degrees based off of this. I think that's a little bit more way to, just the better way to write it, but either way is okay. All right, that's it for Firestarter 18.